So let's dive into an explanation on shape and transform nodes. So first thing we can do is highlight the shape nodes so we can actually see them. So even your camera here has a transform node. We can take a look here in the attribute editor. So this is our transform node and it holds our transforms. And then we have a perspective shape. So this is the shape of the camera. Same is for individual cubes. So we have a transform node and we have a mesh or shape node. Of course, we also have the shading parts of it, but that is a different story. Now, if we open it up, we know that every shape node lives underneath the transform node. The pivot point of our transform node is basically the origin of any point on our shape node here. So, for example, if we were to take all of our points on the shape node and transform them in the y-axis to move higher, our transform node is still in the same place, as we can see by the transform widget here. So because what we did is we moved the shape points. The shape doesn't really have a way to move it all at once without the transform node. So in order to move just the shape, you need to move the points in the shape. And those points will be relative to the position of the transform. So that way, let's actually go here to the channel box. So that way, when I select something, here I'm getting the transform, and then I'm also getting the shape that belongs to it. So whenever I'm grouping all of these objects, they now live under a whole nother transform node. So this is a transform node, which is the group, and each one of those is also a transform node. You see, when I expose it, it shows you these two look the same because they are the same. I can have one transform node host two, actually, I don't know if I can do that. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like in Maya you can't really have one transform node host two shapes or be a parent of two shapes. But what we can do is have this group, which is a transform node. You see, it has the same kind of options, be a parent to all of these other transform nodes, and each one of them hosts a shape node. And if things are correct, the name of your transform will be the name of your shape plus the word shape that would be in the name here, if everything works out correctly. Sometimes that's not the case and we can have problems. So when I move in my group, every individual transform inside of it is going to be relative to where my group is. So basically this here, if I zero it out, it's going to move to the place where my group transform is, instead of going all the way back to the origin. Now, because this one is the only parent that it has is the origin, if I zero it out, obviously it would go to the origin, and now if I zero out one of these guys, it would also go to the origin. Now on the node, on the shape node space, it's a bit different because it kind of lives within all of these hierarchy of transforms. So it's going to be relative to this transform node, and then to this transform node, which is the group, and then to the origin. So now, if I take the PC Cube transform node for this, and I zero it out, you see it goes to the origin, but because I move the components themselves, it hovers high over top. Now, what ends up happening, if I select all of these geometries, and I select this one last, and I go to modify, and then I think, or maybe it's under edit, and then I should have maybe modify. And I should have blah 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 blah, snap a line, replace objects here, and I go into settings. I can replace them with an instance. Yeah, let's do that. So now all of these shape nodes, pay attention, if I expand them, you'll notice that all of the shape nodes have the same name because they're all one shape node. So if I start editing one of them, you see it edits all of them. Because this is all of these individual transforms, this one, these are all transform nodes, have the same shape node. If I go to the node editor and I expand on this, and I expand specifically on the shape, you'll notice, actually, how can I show this in a good way? I want to show that it's connected to all of them. Let's expand all of these. So, I'm gonna pause for a sec. Okay, so we can't really see it in the node editor because it doesn't show the relationship, the hierarchical relationships. But in the hypergraph, we can see it quite clearly. So here you can see that we have our group. Underneath it, we have all of these PC cube different transform nodes. And then we have a single shape that they're all connected to. You see all of these errors, they're all are parents of this one PC cube shape node. So all of these are sharing the same shape node, which means all of these components are just instanced. So Maya doesn't have to like calculate all of them independently, it just calculates one and then displays it in different locations as it has to do with the different transforms you can see here that are put into each one of these transform nodes. So hopefully this clears it up. I can explain it in a different way if it's still vague.